Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Altmann. I'm a neurology resident and researcher at the Medical University of Vienna in Austria. When the Berlin Wall fell, I was 2 years old, so I had to ask my mother what I was doing. She told me I was sleeping. Actually, when I grew up, I wanted to be a writer, but let me say, I changed my mind. My research breaks the wall of patient outcomes in the digital era. Look around me. This may be the waiting room of any neurology practice or outpatient clinic. As neurologists, the majority of patients that we treat suffer from chronic conditions such as Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, or dementia. By the end of my short introduction about my project and MS, I want you to remember two names, Max and Hamster. First, let me introduce you to Max. Max is a patient of mine. I met him 2 years ago when he was 29 years old and had been diagnosed with MS 2 years before. Now, when we try to understand Max's disease status and evaluate possible treatment options, we refer to so-called clinician-reported outcomes, or CROs. These include our patient's neurological tests and radiological reports that help us identify our patient's disease activity and damage that has been made to their central nervous system. Yes, as clinicians, the main outcomes that we use to determine our patient's disease status are clinician-reported outcomes. But if we look deeper and get to know our patients a little better, we might learn there is more about their disease and quality of life than just clinician-reported outcomes. In case of Max, he was doing fine on his CROs. Yet he told me that he had suffered from symptoms such as depression, fatigue, or impaired sexual dysfunction. Unfortunately, the assessment of these kinds of symptoms is not part of clinical routine. We call these kinds of symptoms patient-reported outcomes, or PROs. And even if assessed at all in clinical practice, their evaluation requires our patients to fill out lengthy paper-based questionnaires in the waiting room. So sadly, the evaluation of these PROs is often considered as being inconvenient and time-consuming. Now, let me introduce you to Hamster. Hamster is a smartphone application that I created for people with MS. And I hope in a few moments you can appreciate how Hamster enables us to use digital healthcare technology to track patient-reported outcomes. Because with Hamster, patients can fill out PRO questionnaires at their home and have their results at the ready for the next visit to the doctor. And I think you will all agree that by generating a score sheet of 3 patient-reported outcome measures, the discussion of maybe previously hidden symptoms becomes much more easy and convenient. Now, let's go back to Max. I think that Hamster can help Max and me, his treating neurologist, in 2 ways. First, get a better understanding of what is really going on the inside and improve patient outcomes and quality of life. And second, set a new standard for modern and individualized patient care. I think we found a method to conveniently incorporate tracking of patient-reported outcomes in people with MS. I think that Hamster will benefit society in 3 ways. For one, we found a method to incorporate the assessment of PROs into clinical practice, and these can be used over multiple times. Second, I think Hamster raises awareness of the importance of studying health-related quality of life and patient-reported outcomes in people with MS. And third, I think the concept of Hamster can be applied to other diseases as well, in which healthcare research is feasible. Let me tell you, I sleep fine most of the time, if it weren't for my cat. But honestly, I think that there's still a lot of research we need to do about patient-reported outcomes, particularly how to incorporate them into clinical practice. But the more substantial question is, how do we weigh clinician and patient-reported outcomes against one another? And I think that is a very important question for the future.